Hey, good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to quickly demo a track and field meet sign up database that we built to make the process of getting kids to sign up for events and then actually running those events more efficient. Um, so, a little bit of background information. This was for one of our middle schools, so it's kids grades 6 through 8. And each kid needs to register and be in 4 events and only 4 events. They can't be in 5, they can't be in 3, and everybody needs to be in 4. Okay, so we had a couple of challenges early on. What they used to do was have a couple of sheets of paper up at the front of the gym or in the front of the classroom, and kids would come up one by one and sign their name onto the individual sheets, and it was fine. But I mean, it took a lot of time. They figured, there's got to be a better way that we can incorporate technology. Most of the kids have a mobile device. Is there a way that we could use that to simplify it and make it easier? And they also wanted to know, like, is there a way that we can figure out a method that kids can change their mind before the meet without having to go to the teacher to make those changes? So, for example, if you're doing track and field for 3 weeks and the meet's going to be at the very end, and the kids sign up at the end of the first week, if during training they decide, you know what, maybe the 200-meter race isn't for me, maybe I should be doing the 1500-meter, how can I make that change without having to get the teacher to do it for me? And then finally, how can we also provide event lists for the event organizers of all the athletes participating in each of the events? And so we relied on Google Forms and Google Sheets, again, because everything is totally free and because our entire district works inside of the G Drive for Education environment. So again, a really, really quick overview, but as always, feel free to copy, modify, or use this in any form that might fit your particular needs. And if you need any help, use the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. So the first thing that we did was we created a form. Very, very simple. First name and last name, boys or girls, what grade are you in, who's your teacher, and then basically a list of all the events. And it's just a yes, no. So you'll choose 4 events. You must select yes or no for each event, but only select yes 4 times. There's no limiter on this, but I'll explain how we got around that hurdle in a little bit. The one other thing I will point out is if we go into the settings here, we are collecting their email address, and that's important because that gives kids the ability to make changes to their submissions at a later date, and it also allows us to basically restrict submission to a single response per user. Okay, so you can see that we've turned on the edit after submit, so that if a kid submits it and then 3 days later decides that they want to change their mind, they come back to the same link. It says, you've already submitted this, do you want to change your answers? The kid clicks yes. Any changes that they make will automatically be updated in the database. Now, one thing I will point out is at some point you're going to want to say, okay, stop accepting responses, because you don't want a kid to change their mind 2 hours before the event and you've already printed off the attendance lists or the event lists, and it just wouldn't work. So choose a date, figure out when you're going to stop accepting or allowing kids to make changes, and then just basically turn this off. Okay, so we're going to come into the actual database. So all the data comes into this main section. So again, you've got all of that information there, and then at the very end, what we've done is we've taken the full name. We've just created a formula here that takes the first name and last name and combines them together. And then we've also done another new formula that automatically calculates the number of choices the kid has selected. So all it's doing is it's counting the number of yeses. Okay, and you can see here that we're using conditional formatting to identify kids that have signed up for either more or less than 4 events. So you can see that if it's I don't know if I've got a less one. Yeah, I do. So it's a good example. So this automatically is going to highlight the entire column. So the teachers just scroll through this really quickly. They identify who it is. They talk to Sean and say, Sean, you've signed up for 5 events. Which one don't you want to be in? And then you can either make the changes right here in the spreadsheet. So if I click no, give it a second, it'll just automatically disappear. Or again, if the kid does it by resubmitting the form, it will also remove this, because again, it's just counting the number of yeses. So they'd go through, maybe at the beginning of each class, just quickly check to make sure there's no reds. And then the rest of the magic basically just happens on a bunch of tabs across the bottom that are organized by gender and grade. So here are all of the grade 6 boys events, and you can see that all the events are listed across the top, and then basically all of the kids that have signed up for those events have been placed below it. So then the teachers can either copy and paste this information or use it however they want for when they are actually organizing the event. I think that for the most part is pretty much all you need to know. If you wanted to use something like this, you would literally just need to come into the form, change the events, change the teachers, and again, you don't even really need to use the teachers if you don't want. The teachers, we take this data and put it onto separate spreadsheets for the teachers that are specific to their kids, but totally unnecessary. And then all you would really need to do is, again, send this link off to the kids. You can either push that out in Chrome settings. You can blast a short link onto the board. You can email it. However you're going to get this information to the kids. Allow them to sign up, and then again, just use some of the built-in features to help you organize. Again, hopefully you've found this useful and you can implement it in some way. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments section below. Thanks and have a great day.